There's a company that most people have never heard of, yet it manages $12 trillion in assets. That's roughly half of the US GDP, surpassing countries like Germany, Japan, the UK, India, Russia, and 193 more. This firm holds influence over most banks, pharmaceutical companies, tech giants, mainstream media, and much, much more. It has its hands in the majority of the S&P 500 companies. We're talking about none other than BlackRock. But who is the mysterious man behind this company? And how did he manage to achieve such unimaginable power? This is the story of BlackRock, a mix of ambition, influence, and the dark side of unchecked power. To understand how someone could amass the level of power and influence that the protagonist of this story has, we need to go back to the late 1970s. The United States was struggling due to the oil crisis and the Great Inflation. Prices were skyrocketing, interest rates were through the roof, and many families and businesses were fighting to stay afloat. The government took drastic measures to stabilize the economy, gradually restoring trust in the system. During this time, financial markets grew rapidly thanks to new regulations that loosened restrictions. However, this growth brought a new problem. Money was moving in increasingly complex ways, and the old methods of managing it were no longer sufficient. The answer lay in a company that had yet to be born. Meanwhile, in 1976, a 24-year-old Larry Fink was starting his career at the investment bank First Boston. Over time, Fink climbed the corporate ladder and became head of the fixed income department in 1983, overseeing major transactions involving mortgage-backed securities. Everything seemed to be going well for Larry until, in 1986, he made a financial mistake he would never forget. A bad bet on interest rates led to a $100 million loss. This event was a turning point in his career, making him reflect deeply on the importance of risk management. Fink doesn't talk about this period in emotional terms, but rather as a lesson learned. Because of this, he left First Boston the following year. Now unemployed, Larry began developing an idea of combining technology with financial analysis to prevent such mistakes from happening again. By 1988, he had gathered a team of finance and tech experts to work on his vision. But there was a major obstacle in the way. They had no funding, and Fink's reputation seemed to be permanently tainted. In search of financing, they approached banks like Goldman Sachs and Morgan Stanley, but both rejected them. However, in mid-1988, they pitched their idea to the investment firm Blackstone, whose CEO, Stephen Schwarzman, saw potential in Fink's vision to fill a gap in risk management. By October of that year, Blackstone agreed to finance the creation of BlackRock as a division within the firm. Larry Fink and his team secured an initial $5 million loan from Blackstone, along with access to its clients' network and market reputation. With momentum on his side, Fink took the helm of his new company, one that would soon change everything. So far, we've seen how BlackRock was born, but the real question is, what business model allowed it to emerge as the titan pulling the strings of the financial world? BlackRock takes money from individuals, corporations, and governments and grows it with near-surgical precision. Its strategy? Charging small fees that may seem insignificant at first glance, but turn into rivers of gold thanks to the massive sums they manage. With $12 trillion in assets under management, a mere 0.03% fee generates $3.6 billion. But why do governments bow to BlackRock, entrusting them with their national treasures? The answer lies in a cold, calculating machine, Aladdin, the world's most advanced investment analysis and management software. This artificial brain doesn't just simulate the future, it shapes it. Operating from 4 colossal data centers, one of which houses over 6,000 computers, Aladdin accounts for sudden changes in governments, weather conditions, and potential disasters. Its secret? A sustainable hunger for information. The more data it consumes, the more accurate its analysis becomes, creating a domino effect. More trust, more clients, more data. This endless cycle has been strengthened by big data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning, turning Aladdin from a mere tool into a modern oracle. In 1994, BlackRock split from Blackstone, marking the end of a strategic alliance that no longer shared the same vision. BlackRock pursued asset management and risk analysis, while Blackstone focused on private equity. Supported by the bank PNC, this separation led to the birth of an independent institution that would soon become a financial leviathan. As financial markets boomed between 2000 and 2006, BlackRock grew like a silent predator, absorbing capital and ensuring that no one could escape its reach. Then came 2008, a year that bled the global markets dry. Banks collapsed, fortunes vanished, and trust in the financial system was shattered, but not for BlackRock. While others fell, Larry Fink used the crisis as a launchpad. The lost trust in the banking system was redirected towards BlackRock, positioning it as a beacon in the storm. The masterstroke came in 2009 when BlackRock acquired Barclays Global Investors for $13.5 billion. This purchase included iShares, a line of ETFs that was transforming the financial industry. This acquisition cemented BlackRock's status as the world's largest asset manager. By 2010, BlackRock was managing $3.5 trillion. By the end of 2020, that number surpassed $8 trillion. An ascent fueled by acquisitions, organic growth, and the rise of ETFs. From a small team of 8 to a force that transcends borders, BlackRock's rise was nothing short of extraordinary. BlackRock, alongside Vanguard and State Street, forms what is known as the Big Three. These three companies control over $26.8 trillion in assets, granting them enormous power in financial markets. What's even more interesting is they are intertwined. Each owns significant shares of the others. BlackRock is a major shareholder in Vanguard and State Street, and vice versa. This collective power allows them to shape global policies on governance, sustainability, and diversity. Let's talk about BlackRock's holdings today. In the tech sector, BlackRock owns 6.7% of Apple, 7.5% of Microsoft, 7.3% of Nvidia, and 6.2% of Alphabet, Google's parent company. In mainstream media, BlackRock is also a key player, controlling 14% of Fox News and 7.4% of Comcast, which owns CNBC, NBC, Universal, and DreamWorks. In the pharmaceutical sector, it holds 7.7% of Pfizer and 9.1% of AstraZeneca, and the list doesn't end there. These percentages may seem small, but they represent massive influence. Each percent equals billions of dollars and a privileged seat at the decision-making table. And remember, BlackRock isn't the only player in the game. In Pfizer's case, Vanguard owns 9.11% and State Street 5.13%. Together, these three firms own nearly 25% of the pharmaceutical giant. In a world increasingly leaning towards decentralized finance, BlackRock has adapted and become a crypto whale. Today, it manages over 550,000 bitcoins, solidifying its position as one of the largest cryptocurrency holders on the planet. This allows it to redefine the rules of a market that once promised to be free from the grip of financial titans. In 2021, BlackRock made history by becoming the first foreign asset manager authorized to offer investment funds in China. This means BlackRock can invest in and acquire stakes in Chinese companies. This unprecedented access raises unsettling questions. What deals or secret agreements enable this entry into such a closed market? BlackRock has also set its sights on real estate, buying up residential properties en masse, a move that has sparked concerns over speculation and skyrocketing housing prices. What could have been a home for a family instead becomes just another statistic in the portfolio of an insatiable corporation. Despite its power, BlackRock does not operate in a vacuum. It is the subject to financial regulations in multiple jurisdictions. Yet, most people will never hear Larry Fink's name. BlackRock is shaping the future, quietly but relentlessly.